people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aubrey Grace. I'm so happy for you guys to be here and click on this video. Today we're going to be talking about something that is so important and that I'm excited to talk about. Also, it is a little hard to talk about, but it's the idea of having an audience of one mindset, right? Having an audience of one, only looking on to God as our only audience, right? Jesus Christ as our only audience, building his kingdom as our only audience. And so, when we're like thinking about what we have going on in our day-to-day lives, like a lot of worldliness comes into play, a lot of worldly performance, seeking validation from other people, whether it be in our work, whether it be in our friendships, whether it be in our family, whether it be in whatever area that God has placed you in. You can feel that maybe tension or pull to want to have, a bigger audience, to want to seek validation from other people, but that is not what God has called from us, and that is not abundant life. Going through your life just seeking validation from other people, always trying to, perform for others or get your name recognized or whatever the case may be, whatever you may struggle with, he does not want that for you. And so it's also so easy to fall into that striving mindset, right? Striving to be the best, which is good, but when you have a wrong intention of it, striving to do something because it might get you a reward or it will be seen more by others or whatever the case may be, and not just to glorify God, that's when it's not in its rightful position. So a verse that really tackles the idea of working onto Jesus and not for men is Colossians 3:23 through 24. And it says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." And so I think this is it pinpoints it, right? We are serving God. That is our first priority. It is not of men. It's not just serving. We might be in school, serving our teachers, serving our classmates, serving our coworkers, serving our friends and families. Now, all of that can be a good thing, but when it's in a bad position, when you have a bad heart posture towards it and you're doing things with a bad intention, right? To seek validation from others, to get your name up there, to be seen, and it's not just glorifying God, it's just glorifying yourself. That's when you need to reflect and sit back and say, am I really having an audience of one? Or is the audience that's getting bigger around me, is that more important than serving God, right? And you really need to reflect, like, are you using your gifts? I want you guys to think, like, are you using the gifts that God has given you for him? Or do you think you're being distracted by them and you're using it to please other people? Because that is an important question to ask yourself, and something that I've asked myself recently as well. So in a verse that really attacks people pleasing is Galatians 1:10, and it says, "Paul asks, am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." So I really love this verse because I think it tackles so many things, not just God knows, like in every generation, this was something that, human beings probably had a struggle with, right? Because it's in the Bible, so people did struggle with it back then. But the approval of human beings, he targets it, and he's like, are you just trying to win approval of your counterparts? No, we are trying to win approval from God. And if we are a servant of Christ, we're only trying to please him and him alone. There's also so much freedom in believing and fully knowing that God has called us to have an audience of one, to keep our eyes fixed on him. It literally says, I must decrease and he must increase. We need to have a full, narrow gaze set on God, because everything that we do should flow from an obedient heart of knowing him, wanting to make him known, but first and foremost, honoring him, loving him, and glorifying him. And that comes from having an audience of one mindset. When we do everything to give God glory, it helps us put him in his rightful place. It helps us, just like I said, I must decrease, he must increase. It helps us put him at his rightful place so that we have humility and we are lower, trying to live, live this life, right? Live this Christian walk for him and for him alone. That's the key word, alone. So I know this was a quick word, but I hope it encourages you guys to have more of an audience of one mindset. I hope you guys have a blessed day and talk to you guys really soon.